Just arrived in the mail today from Walmart, the Mandalorian Super Commando, also known as the Horny That can't be right. The Mandalorian Super Commando, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup of the Black Series line. You got your Mandalorian in my Sith Lord. You got your Sith Lord all over my Mandalorian. This guy looks all kinds of awesome because he's cool like Darth Maul, and he's awesome because he's a Mandalorian, and you put those two together, and this is the greatness that you get. Got some pretty cool paint apps, the dark gray, the dark red. Not entirely sure I like the base color brownish, but I'm sure it's accurate. He's got horns on his head and on his shoulder pads, which go with the Darth Maul follower. He has some pretty cool pistols that fit very tightly into his leg holsters. He's got a jetpack on the back, which I will say I'm a little bit disappointed. It's not a lot of paint apps on there. It's kind of not overly detailed. A little bit of a letdown. It does pop on and off, although if you take it off, then you're stuck with holes. So probably want to leave that on there as much as possible. It does fit on very tight. On the con side, he's got a little articulation issues. I believe they're relatively standard for the Mandalorian frame, but these wires, I've seen more than one person post that when you bend his elbow too far, these can break. My son has a Boba Fett that he said they busted on. And the knee pads, it's a double jointed knee, but the knee pad doesn't always follow the knee. When you try to put him in a kneeling position, sometimes that knee pad, actually never have I made it work, the knee pad doesn't follow the lower part, which you'd think if he's kneeling, he'd kneel on it. So not overly thrilled about the way the knee pads work, but I got this guy because of the way he looks, and he looks completely awesome. Final grade on the Mandalorian Super Commando. For articulation and posability, 3. He's got all of your general Black Series articulation, nothing special. There's a couple of stiff joints, again, with these little cords and with the weird knee pads. Not perfect. The ankles don't move as far as they should either, so I'm just going to give him an average mark of 3. Accessories, going to get with a 4. He's got what basically comes with all Star Wars figures, which is 1 or 2 weapons and possibly a wardrobe thing, which in this case is his jetpack. Comes with little blasters. It's time that Black Series gives us a little bit of something more, whether it's an alternate head that maybe has the gold visor that matches the leader, Gar Saxon, or hands that aren't necessarily shooting things. Hasbro needs to give us just a little bit of something more to get a 5 in accessories. In the looks department, can't go anything less than 5. This guy looks great. He's imposing. His colors are neat. His paint schemes are great. And he looks like a friggin' Mandalorian with horns. So, 5. And in construction, gonna go with a 4 out of 5. Mine was very solid out of the box. I have heard reports of people saying that they're loose, and a lot of Black Series figures, not just this guy. The jetpack, though, it sticks in really tight. The guns stick in really tight in the leg holsters. It's just, again, these elbows and these knees that are just something not quite right about the way that they're built. But I think he's built more for looks than he is for posability. So, construction of 4. So if you add those up, 3, 4, 5, 4 equals 16 out of 20. Highly recommended. Not that I need to recommend The Mandalorian because this guy's going to sell out no matter where he goes. But if you're thinking about it, I would definitely add it to your collection. If you enjoy like Mandalorians, you like the series that he's from, or you like Star Wars. I'm Mark from Play Thingamajig, where it's all about toys. See you next time. So here we have the unboxing of our Mandalorian Super Commando. Looking at the box, he looks pretty cool from the front. Here's the artwork on the side. The back is a little write-up, and this side's kind of boring. So all in all, he looks best from the front, as most figures do. I will say this guy is a little unimpressive from the front. I think just the color choice is a little bit bland. Obviously, he's a very cool looking figure, but with I think it's just the yellow of the Clone Wars. It just doesn't add a lot of color to it. So I'd think of, well, I don't know. It's not that important because I'm an out-of-box collector, so I don't really care that much. I just don't think this one sitting on the shelf looked that awesome, just from the colors. There's nothing really bright about this guy in the box, but that's neither here nor there. So here we go. After my last unboxing, I thought, I don't know why I go through all the trouble. I'm just going to toss it out anyway. But we'll do it the fancy knife way. So this is the Mandalorian Super Commando from the Clone Wars series. This is a Walmart exclusive. The only figure in the actual TV show that looked like this was their leader, which was Gar Saxon. He was kind of ruthless son of a gun. The Mandalorian TV show has spread a little bit of light on the Mandalorians themselves. Din Djarin, can't talk in all that noise. Din Djarin from the Mandalorian. It has been evolved now, no spoilers, that he is descendant from the Death Watch, which was kind of the cult radical grouping of Mandalorians. Death Watch in the show, Death Watch took over the Mandalorians, and then when Darth Maul took over the leader, the Death Watch was split, and half of them went the way of Bo-Katan, I believe her name is, and followed her, and they all wore the blue, and Maul's followers dressed like this. In the non-TV stuff, apparently a number of them had this kind of helmet, but in the show it was just one guy. He had a gold visor. Yeah. So this is also known as a Mandalorian traditionalist. They're a member of Maul's Shadow Collective, part of Death Watch. The leader was Gar Saxon, as I mentioned before. The only Mandalorian Super Commando in Clone Wars to wear this helmet. As I said before, I'm reading notes now after going through all that. And that's it. So this is everything in the package. As with most Black Series figures, you don't get a whole lot more than what you see here. I assume it has to do with price. A lot of Marvel Legends are the same price as the Black Series, but they don't have to pay as much for the license. So what you get for the Star Wars license is less than you would with a lot of other 6-inch figures, but you get a really cool figure. So here's everything out of the box. He's got his Mandalorian jetpack. He's got two interesting looking phasers, and he's got holsters to go with it. Holes for the backpacks. The helmet does not come off. No, it does not come off. So that's what's in the box. That's the end of the unboxing. We'll move on to the next thing. So I want to give you a little bit more insight on the things that I don't think are the greatest about this guy, understanding that I think he's pretty great. Just a little more detail. I've mentioned this way too many times now. It's probably too ridiculous, but just to give you a real close-up of the problem with the elbow articulation, he's already got these gauntlets that don't let the elbow bend too far past that point. But if that weren't a stopping point, because this gauntlet isn't uniform all the way around, you have these cables, which are really cool in the detail department, but they're not great in the articulation department. And a lot of people have pointed out that they have gotten theirs to snap through one way or another. I would not force this beyond this point because they're already relatively tight across his elbow. But it is an issue, and it may be an issue for more than just this guy. It may be a Mandalorian issue, because I think they kind of use the same frame on all of these guys. But his elbow will only go so far. This guy actually doesn't even go far enough to make these tight. So the right arm, you almost can't break him, but the left arm, it's definitely a possibility. So be wary of that if you go and pick this guy up. That, like, I tried to make it where he could fire this arm straight forward and have this arm come over. and touch the gauntlet to make it do it, and he can't even get close. Another reason for the lower mark in the articulation. Not even close. So that kind of sucks. And then again, this is this knee issue. If you went to pose this guy where he's kneeling, well, this time the knee pad actually went to the middle. But a lot of times, there, if you clicked all the way up to the top and you bend, the knee pad does not go with the knee. It stays there, which is not the way a knee pad should go. Now, if you go full double thing there, you can probably get it around where you need it to go. It's neat that it's free-forming. It works for the look of the figure. It just doesn't really work for posability. Get the ankle to move funny. And it's on both. It's universal. But he's great. He looks great. He just has some issues. Oh, the third issue. I was noticing that the top tabs of his jetpack don't actually fit in there well. And I kept squeezing it thinking I was doing something wrong. But it's just, that's the way it goes. The peg in the middle is actually quite long, and it holds it in there really super sturdy. So the top tabs aren't even really they're just steadying tabs. They just hold it from swiveling on his back. They don't actually, click in there. So it might look a little funny. It might look a little oh, I don't have that in as tight as I can. But you do. That's just the way that it is. And once it's on there, it's very sturdy. It's not going anywhere. This is the way. Just arrived in the mail today is the Mandalorian. What the hell is it? Which is nice. Oh, totally dropped them there. So you've ever also known as the Mandalorian? This guy is, he's great. How do you not think that is great? For articulation and pose, and a whole bunch of darkness, horns, and Sith stuff. It's not so bad though when you always look cool. Your knee pads can look a little stupid from time to time. Articulation is, well, it's the standard. His pistols fit nice and tightly into his holsters on his back. Yeah, his holsters on his back. Ah!
Thank you.